Onyx Books Palmer review. What? I bought this basically when it came out, or pretty soon after it came out. And I know this video is a little late considering that the Onyx Books Palmer 2 is out. Oops. I've seen heaps of Books Palmer reviews on YouTube before, but a lot of them have focused more on the technology of handheld e-ink devices than the Palmer itself, which is really cool. The technology is cool, but the Palmer I feel like doesn't get talked about either openly or in the full details that it needs to be. So that is the aim of this review, is to be an honest Palmer review. I really like the build quality of the Palmer. It's really light, but it still feels durable. I don't know how to describe the texture on the back of the Palmer. I'll get a clearer shot, but it's like this, it's almost like a truck bed. It's this super interesting material. It's quite comfortable to hold for a long time. I do like how it looks in both outdoor and indoor lighting. I'll have some shots outdoor as well as some B-roll inside. I think that the screen is always super clear. It responds really well to natural light and indoor lighting. Something that I really like about the Palmer is the ability to have the lock screen be a clock, which I find really helpful while I'm studying. I'll often prop it up just here or on my document stand over here, and I'll have the time and date or whatever on it. And because it's e-ink, it barely uses any power to update the screen. So this is what that looks like as a clock. You can have it, invert colors or whatever. And there's another option as well, which has a bigger calendar and the date and the time. But also you can set your own lock screen, because obviously ink doesn't use power while it's off. You can have a nice image as your lock screen. So I've just got the Nujabes Metaphorical Music cover art as my lock screen. I know that a friend of mine from uni also has the Palmer, and they use that clock function regularly. I've seen them in the library before, and they prop it up on the front of the monitor just with the clock on. Another thing that I really like is that it uses Android. This is super important to me to keep it open and customizable. It comes with Google Play. You can also sideload APKs, whatever you need. It's very, very easy to customize. I generally dislike the default launcher on most phones, Android devices, whatever. It's just not for me. So I have an AIO launcher installed. I did try Unlauncher, which I know is quite common on handheld e-ink devices, but I just couldn't, it just wasn't for me. So I much prefer AIO launcher with all the apps on the side here and then the widgets as necessary. You can also add customize Onyx Books widgets, like the reading widget, which shows you how much you've read that week, what books are readily available and stuff. I really like the different refresh modes on the Palmer. They are very impressive to me. It maybe isn't very impressive to someone who's experienced with e-ink. I'm not 100% sure, but I came from a Kindle before this, which had god-awful refresh. So the refresh rate on this, to me, is insane. It's especially noticeable on the Maps app. When you're scrolling around the map, you can go through the different refresh modes and you see a clear difference on how quick they can get it and still leave, noticeable ghosting, but not something that bothers me at all in daily use. That being said, I don't have experience with other devices in the e-ink world apart from one Kindle and a Books Palmer. So I can't really compare it to the standard of refresh rates because I haven't had hands-on experience with other items yet. I really like that the Palmer has both Bluetooth and Wi-Fi. It works flawlessly with my wireless earbuds and with my mobile hotspot, uni Wi-Fi, home Wi-Fi, guest Wi-Fi networks, whatever it is. I use it as a music device when I'm at uni because I don't take my smartphone with me to uni. I take a Opel Mobile Touch Flip and the Books Palmer to uni. So it is really nice to be able to have Spotify and my downloads and MP3s still easily able to listen to through my Bluetooth headphones, on the go without a smartphone. I was using an iPod Touch for a little while, but it wouldn't connect with my Bluetooth earbuds properly, so I just ended up giving up on that. That I will mention though, especially if it's charging with Bluetooth or Wi-Fi on, it will get quite warm. And if you're using Bluetooth and Wi-Fi, it reduces the battery life quite significantly. And just generally, I feel the device is quite intuitive. I definitely feel it's a open device for, it's not a niche device. It can be used for many different contexts, for many different people, not just, productivity guru YouTubers. It doesn't necessarily require a lot of experience with technology to use and set up efficiently. If you have downloaded EPUBs or bought EPUBs online before, or you can use the Kindle app on it because it's, got Google Play, I feel it wouldn't be a very big learning curve for most people to be able to customize it and use it however they need. The battery life. If you're literally just reading on it, it's great. It lasts like 2 weeks. If you're using literally any other app that it didn't come preloaded with, it tanks the battery life to maybe a day or 2 days if you're pushing it, especially if you're using Bluetooth and Wi-Fi. If I have a day at uni where I'm studying a lot and I've got the music going basically the whole day, or if I'm walking around a lot and I'm using maps or something, the battery is terrible. It will be at 20% when I get home from just, a couple hours at uni. So that's maybe I'm just terrible at using things efficiently, but the battery life to me feels could be very much improved. Maybe it's a matter of improving the efficiency of using apps, not necessarily baked into the Palmer, as maybe the battery life is being degraded because of the Palmer optimizing different apps for the e-ink display. The Palmer also has a light sensor on it, so it can automatically adjust the brightness of the screen and the color of the lights it's using according to your environment. However, I felt it was mostly useless. If I'm in an environment with light around, I'm most likely not using the backlight at all. And if I'm in an environment without any light, I'm always using really dim on completely warm white setting. I never ever find a scenario to use it on any other different lighting. So to me, personally, the light sensor was completely unnecessary. The camera on the Palmer is marketed as a document scanner, but I wouldn't really even use it as that. It's pretty clunky to navigate, and it's honestly easier to just get up and go to the scanner. It will go to a library and use the scanner there, especially if I'm at uni. It could work in a pinch, but if I had any other option, such as a library scanner, I would use that instead of the camera on the books. Another thing to mention is that Onyx Books, the company, has a less than average reputation for customer support and device repair. There are multiple articles and people complaining on Reddit that the customer support is absolutely terrible. Whether it's a broken item during shipping or just general, like I've seen a couple Palmers have screen issues with the earlier models when they were first released. I haven't had any issues with mine. It's been perfect. But yeah, the company themselves have a pretty average customer support reputation. So if you are going to purchase a books device, maybe that's something to keep in mind. I would say it's a lot less niche than items like the Hisense Touch or Ink Palm 5. It is a more user-friendly experience, especially because it comes with Google Play. You don't need to root it with the Hisense Touch. You can get Google Play and root the Hisense Touch now, but it doesn't come preloaded with it unless you buy from someone who preloads it for you. But then you run the risk of preloaded security issues as well. So if you like the features it has to offer, it's definitely a valuable product to me. It's been valuable. I use it every day. But if you're someone that's already in the Kindle ecosystem or you use your phone to e-read, do some thinking about whether it's for you or not, because if you use Kindle, you can use the Kindle app on a books device as well, and you're breaking out of that Amazon only ecosystem. But you will spend more likely more money on the device itself than a new Kindle. They're not cheap books devices. And if you e-read on your phone, it's more of a matter of, do you want the benefits of e-ink over an LCD panel or OLED panel when you're reading, especially at night? How much do you use your phone to read? Do you use your phone to read at night? Do you read for long periods of time on a phone? If you don't, and you mostly read books at night, and you like physical books at night, and you don't read for long periods of time on a phone leading to eye strain, then maybe you don't need an e-ink device. It's very personal. Like I mentioned earlier, the Palmer 2 is out now, but as far as I know, they're essentially the exact same product, except the Palmer 2 has a fingerprint scanner and a slightly upgraded CPU, and uses Android 13 instead of Android 11. I'm not confident on what exactly the upgrade to the CPU is. I have actually no idea. To me, the addition of a fingerprint scanner means nothing, so it's up to you. It might be useful as a hardware pass, like maybe a pass key for authentication. It has literally no use to me, so I'll be sticking with the Palmer. There is one thing I'll mention quickly. On Reddit, there have been posts about Palmer devices pinging to a Chinese server. Onyx Books, as far as I'm concerned, is a Chinese company, and there is Chinese software like hard baked into the device you can remove with ADB if you're tech literate. Personally, I haven't looked that deeply into this. I don't have any political affiliation for or against China or the companies that are based in China or have headquarters in China, but I thought it would be worth a mention. If that's something that is important to you, do your due diligence and research before you pull the trigger on a Books device. To me personally, it's not a huge deal. I am big on cybersecurity. However, I don't believe the device is intended to be a malicious device. But that's just my opinion. If it is something you're concerned about, do a lot of research before making the decision to purchase a Books device. That goes for the tablets as well, not just the Palmer. I would like to experience some other e-ink devices. I have plans to purchase a Books Go 10.3 at some point for reading in bed, and I would like to try a Hisense Touch at some point. Oh, and the Go will be used for note taking as well, I think. I would like to try a Hisense Touch. I might look at getting one later in the year, and if I do, I'll do a comparison of the Palmer and the Touch, and I will do a review of the Touch as well. That's it for the video. Let's go. Bye.
You can't take this away from me. The way I hit